Welcome to this new series where we're gonna take a look at certain units from the tabletop that rarely had a chance to shine in games, either because of factors such as their cost inefficiency or their general mediocrity when compared to the rest of the army, and compare them to actually their vastly superior Total War version. I know it might not make sense to some people to compare such things, but to be honest with you...
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
It's just nice to see some units excelling for once, and many people who have no experience with the tabletop might find this informative. We're gonna start off the series with everyone's favorite degenerate mass of muscle, claws, and 10-foot tongues, the Chaos Spawn. Before we actually move on to their in-game use, let's just take a look at some old scrolls of lore of how the gifts of chaos can leave their followers with much more than they bargained for. Said to be the true representation of the ruinous powers and everything they stand for, Chaos Spawn take on a myriad of forms unimaginable to nature. The appearance of Chaos Spawn is about as varied as the levels of their entire existence being screwed up, but they all have something in common. A creature that has sprouted and burst into an obscene and monstrous anatomy, mutated almost beyond recognition. Some Chaos Spawn have multiple heads sprouting from where the neck would have been, while others have serpentine jaws that expand more than a normal creature's anatomy would realistically allow it to. Some forest Chaos Spawn appear to be a part of the forest itself, especially in the case of former beastmen, and their constantly mutating bodies have been joined with the rotten limbs of dead trees. All differences aside, Chaos Spawn in general of creatures are unspeakable horror, and their twisted bodies are basically a crazy combination of spines, eyes, mouths, and, well, as you can see on some Chaos Spawn, pretty bad case of pubes. The vast majority of Chaos Spawn will come from the followers of the ruinous powers, however, unlucky individuals that have been born as mutants, not these mutants, will almost certainly evolve through spawndom if they actually survive obstacles such as witch hunters. The path to spawndom is full of uncertainty. Will you catch the attention of the gods? Will they bestow their favor upon you? And will you actually be able to handle their gifts? Let's take a look at Brolaf and his merry band of marauders. They're the fiercest warriors in their tribe. They've slain countless other Norscan warriors, beastmen herds, even worshippers of the fey god Sigmar. But they're not done. Their journey has just begun. As the mortal followers of the Chaos Gods perform bloody deeds in their name, they may find the eye of the gods staring at them. The champion of chaos may find himself gifted by the gods. Perhaps he'll get the strength to move mountains. Maybe his hand is gonna evolve into a weapon. He's maybe gonna get the speed to catch any who would run from the gaze of the gods, or extra limbs that shouldn't be there, unless you're a Slanesh worshipper. At the end of the day, some gifts are better left unopened. If the blessings of the gods prove too powerful for the bearer, he'll slowly start to devolve into something lesser, becoming Forsaken. Forsaken have lost what little remained of their humanity. Their only desire right now is that of a primal nature, to kill. Some of their former Chaos brethren view them only as attack hounds, keeping them chained until battles, while the rest of Norsca honors Forsaken, for is it not better to go out in a blaze of glory than never to have the gaze of the gods upon you? I think a dental plan should probably have been on the gift list, but I'm not really sure right now. Chaos Spawn lose what little remained of their original forms, and they become a shifting mass of tentacles and eyes. Upon the moment of devolution, the former person, now a Chaos Spawn, becomes shattered by agony as his body twists into something more. The pain is so great it completely destroys the mind of the Chaos Spawn. It erases just about every memory, all emotion, and the capability to form a coherent thought, and leaves behind an empty husk that's hell-bent on slaughter. We've seen what it takes to actually become a Chaos Spawn. Now let's take a look at the stats from both the tabletop and the actual Total War game, and see how to use Chaos Spawn to their fullest potential while also doing a little bit of a tabletop review. On the tabletop, Chaos Spawn cost about 50 points base, and when you look at their stats, you actually die inside a little bit every goddamn time. Random attacks are either gonna make you tattoo a D6 on your chest because you're gonna love him, or it's gonna make you throw out your gaming table straight through the window. Random movement has a tendency to be pretty punishing in 99% of the realistic scenarios, and Initiative 2 means that, yeah, good luck hitting first in combat against a lot of stuff. Strength 4 and Toughness 5 does seem pretty sweet when it's combined with Unbreakable, and it's actually gonna allow the Chaos Spawn to last some rounds in combat in normal circumstances while being able to dish out pain. And if you didn't notice, I'm actually joking because Spawn have got free wounds and no real saves, so yeah, good luck with that one. Chaos Spawn used to be so garbage for a long time in 40k that a whole meme developed around them, saying their name would be enough to turn you into one. Good thing I'm not talking about 40k right now, otherwise that'd become a Chaos Spawn just about... Funnily enough, it's pretty much mandatory to have some Chaos Spawn models. You see this guy? Your almighty Chaos Lord, the Harbinger of Doom, the guy who probably solo carried a lot of the games because of his sheer badassery? Yeah, roll a 2 on the Eye of the Gods table, fail your leadership test, and watch this guy devolve into a bag of eyes and claws, and you're probably wondering why? Maybe he'd seen Shadowbait Day at work and decided to relieve some frustration? Or he just didn't like the nudes the Chaos Lord tried to bribe him with. Chaos Spawn actually have some fun play potential though. As an example, if you're playing with Beastman and you take Morgur as a character, he can kill a friendly model every turn and turn it into a Chaos Spawn on a roll of 3+. Remember the Ungors? The utterly horrible meat shields that even other Beastmen despise, that are actually even worse than goat crap? Watch them actually become scary. At the end of the day, Chaos Spawn models are amazing in my opinion. If you really don't want to play with them, at least use some of their parts for conversions, because they're just absolutely perfect for kitting out Forsaken, Chaos Wars, and just about anything in the Chaos roster. That's it for the tabletop right now, and it's time to take a look at the actual Total War version, and boy oh boy, here it comes. You might have been put off by their tabletop stats, but they're complete murder machines in the Total War game. They have absurdly high weapon strength, they're capable of tearing through lower armored infantry like they're made of wet tissue paper, and they can even put the hurt against armored targets since they actually do have a very good AP value of 40 for a unit which wasn't meant to be mainly AP to begin with. Because of their mass, they're actually capable of shattering infantry lines completely and allowing your infantry to have the upper hand in combat if you engage them fast enough. Because of their speed value of 42, they're totally capable of cycle charging and making your opponent cry, and it's pretty devastating on the flanks and rear chargers when you combine it with the passive fear that comes with the Chaos Spawn, so the enemy can kiss their leadership goodbye pretty much. They're also pretty decent in combat with other monstrous infantry in the game. As an example, they'll win against trolls and unsupported crypt horrors, even though it's gonna be a very tough fight against the crypt horrors. They can perform alright when used to combat monsters such as giants, if you can get a good wrap around them, but that's really not their ideal use. As I said earlier, they'll pay back every single cent you spend on them against infantry and even earn more. Chaos Spawn are unbreakable, so they'll fight to the last, mutating, gibbering, stupendifying ounce of chaos in their bodies, which is a very good thing and a bad thing. It's good because it actually buys you time while you win the combat on the other fronts. They're unaffected by leadership penalties, so you're not gonna have any trouble with the Chaos Spawn running away even if it's outnumbered 10 to 1. They can actually win combat where other units of equal combat stats would rout. Why is it bad? Well, it's bad if you leave them in prolonged combat without making use of the superior Chaos Spawn mass and mobility. What are the weaknesses of Chaos Spawn? Even though they actually have an excellent health pool for their price, their low armor and melee defense leaves them really vulnerable in prolonged combat, especially against infantry with a bonus against large targets. Missiles are an excellent way to counter Chaos Spawn. It's pretty much the safest way considering your lines are gonna crumble in about 90% of the cases when Chaos Spawn actually connect with the lines. A charge by cavalry units is absolutely gonna shatter Chaos Spawn. Actually, did I mention the word decent in the cavalry section? Because you should probably forget about Wolf Riders taking them on, they are gonna die horribly. Then again, that's the purpose of Wolf Riders, to actually die horribly. All in all, for the current price of 1000, Chaos Spawn are the most cost-effective monstrous infantry in the Chaos Warriors roster. It pretty much always pays off having at least one of them in your army, and they're really capable of great deeds. Even though at this point they don't even understand what they're doing or why they exist in the first place, because I guess when you get gifted by Chaos, you kinda lose the whole meaning of actually meaning. Yeah, what did you learn from this? It's probably not good to worship Chaos sometimes. And that's it for this episode. Post in the comment section which unit you would like to see featured next, and we'll get cracking to it. Until the next time, Try not to worship the ruinous powers because, yeah, you're probably gonna need a better dental insurance or something. I'm really not sure this is a good idea in the first place.